Officials say a former Marine opened fire inside a Southern California bar Wednesday night, killing 12 people and sending hundreds running for cover. Today, we stopped by a local bar in the area and asked them about their safety protocol. We also spoke with law enforcement on how people can protect themselves in an active shooter situation. Valley News Team's Joshua Peguero has our story.
Pete Sabo, owner of the Bison Turf, says customer safety was an afterthought. That's until Wednesday night's deadly shooting in California.
With the kind of protection we got at the door, there's very little risk here.
Sabo says his employees can spot unordinary behavior.
Our bartenders look out for lots of different signs, or our bouncers look for all kinds of different signs of people coming in if they're overly nervous.
But what do you do if someone shows up with a gun with the intent to harm people? Law enforcement has a few tips. The first thing law enforcement recommends that you do in an active shooter situation is to try to run away. If you can't run away, then you should hide. And if you can't hide, well, then defend yourself. Captain Jesse Johnner of the Cass County Sheriff's Office splits his time as an assistant commander of the Red River Valley SWAT. He says responding to active shooter scenarios has changed over the years, with officers no longer having to wait for a SWAT team to arrive.
The first arriving law enforcement officers that show up on scene are going to be the ones that have to address the threat.
Johnner says last year his department began training employees at some businesses.
Teach them different principles on how they can buy time until law enforcement can get there.
Over at the Fargo Police Department, officers practice active shooter drills yearly.
All new hires get trained in active shooter response and how to clear buildings tactically.
As for Pete, he says his customers should feel safe at the Bison Turf. In Fargo, Joshua Peguero, Valley News Live.
Fargo police say if you're carrying a gun in an active shooter scenario, to make sure that you lay it on the ground. It's hard for officers to tell the difference between a suspect and a good Samaritan.